In 1973, Bruce Lee unleashed Enter the Dragon, a movie that wasn't just a martial arts flick, it was an earthquake that reshaped global cinema. Enter the Dragon was wilder off camera than on it. Let's kick this off with fact number 1. It was originally called Blood and Steel.
Don't waste yourself.
When Enter the Dragon was first being developed, the movie had a very different name, Blood and Steel. Warner Brothers and Golden Harvest used that as the working title while the script was being written. Bruce Lee wasn't happy with it. He thought it sounded like a generic B-movie title, all violence and no meaning. Lee wanted something with more depth, something that connected to his identity and philosophy. After discussions, the studio agreed to change it. The new title, Enter the Dragon, did everything Blood and Steel couldn't. It gave the film an epic, almost mythic quality while tying directly to Bruce Lee's nickname, Little Dragon. That made the film easier to market internationally and helped cement it as a cultural phenomenon. Sometimes a simple name change can shape the destiny of a film. Number 2. The mirror fight was almost too complicated to film. The famous mirror fight between Bruce Lee and Han wasn't in the original script. The idea actually came from producer Paul Heller, who was inspired after seeing mirrors in a Hong Kong hotel. At first, Bruce Lee wasn't convinced. He worried the reflections would make the action look messy and confuse the audience. But once the elaborate mirror set was built, Lee walked through it and started to see the potential. The reflections added layers of tension and made Han's deception even more sinister. Filming, however, was a nightmare. Crew members kept showing up in reflections, and lighting had to be constantly adjusted to avoid ruining shots. The result, though, was unforgettable. That sequence didn't just cap off the film, it became one of the most iconic final battles in martial arts cinema. Number 3. Jim Kelly was a real karate champion, not an actor.
Hong Kong. By Hawaii.
He's not going to Hawaii.
Jim Kelly, who played the smooth and confident Williams, wasn't an actor when he landed the role. He was a real martial arts champion who had built his reputation on the karate circuit. In fact, he was discovered at a Chicago tournament where his speed, precision, and style caught the attention of producers. Kelly didn't even have an agent at the time. With no Hollywood background and no formal acting training, he stepped straight into a leading role alongside Bruce Lee. He reportedly learned his lines right before filming each scene, but his natural presence and charisma carried him through. Combined with his authentic karate skills, Kelly's performance made Williams one of the most memorable characters in Enter the Dragon. The role launched him into stardom and helped open doors for more black martial artists in cinema. Number 4. The island fortress was built in Burbank, not Hong Kong.
Good work. You made me some bread.
Mr. Lopa?
I'm ready.
Okay.
Although Enter the Dragon is set in Hong Kong, Han's iconic island fortress wasn't filmed there at all. The massive set was actually constructed on a soundstage in Burbank, California. Hollywood crews built the elaborate interiors, from the training grounds to the underground tunnels, using painted backdrops and studio tricks to sell the illusion of an exotic island. Even some of the boat sequences were shot in controlled water tanks rather than the open sea. For audiences, it looked like Bruce Lee had stepped into a mysterious fortress halfway across the world. In reality, he was only a few miles from downtown Los Angeles. The seamless blending of location shots from Hong Kong with the California-built fortress shows just how much old-school movie magic went into creating the film's legendary atmosphere. Number 5. Bruce Lee's nunchaku speed broke the cameras. When Bruce Lee unleashed the nunchaku in Enter the Dragon, the scene instantly became one of the film's highlights. But what most people don't realize is that his movements were literally too fast for the cameras to capture. Standard film cameras of the early 1970s struggled to keep up with the blinding speed of his spins and strikes. On playback, the footage looked like a blur, with no way for audiences to actually see what Lee was doing. To fix it, editors slowed the sequence down in post-production so viewers could appreciate his technique. That means what made it to the final cut is only a fraction of his real speed. Number 6. Roper was based on a real government operative.
I'm sorry, Mr. Roper isn't in right now. May I take a message?
John Saxon's character, Roper, wasn't purely a Hollywood invention. His role was inspired by a real government operative who allegedly worked undercover in martial arts tournaments across Southeast Asia. Before filming, Saxon spent time studying the man to capture his mannerisms and his calculating, paranoid edge. The real-life operative lived a double existence, fighting in tournaments while secretly gathering intelligence. That gave Saxon's performance a grounded quality, blending charm with an underlying sense of danger. Roper isn't just a gambler looking for a way out of debt. He's someone with instincts shaped by real espionage. While the film never openly acknowledges its source of inspiration, the parallels are hard to miss. By rooting the character in reality, the filmmakers gave Enter the Dragon another layer of authenticity, making Roper more than just comic relief alongside Bruce Lee. Number 7. The Cobra scene nearly killed Bruce Lee. The Cobra scene in Enter the Dragon turned out to be far more dangerous than anyone expected. During production, the snake used on set actually escaped into the rafters of the studio and disappeared for 3 full days, leaving the crew on edge. When filming finally resumed, the handlers assured everyone it was safe. The venom glands had supposedly been removed, but during one take, the cobra bit Bruce Lee on the hand. Instead of panicking, Lee powered through the shot, finishing the scene before seeking treatment. The bite wasn't fatal, but the incident showed just how unpredictable and risky the shoot could be. Between escaped snakes and live venom, it was a reminder that the dangers of Enter the Dragon weren't just on screen. Bruce Lee quite literally bled and suffered to bring authenticity to his final masterpiece. Number 8. The film's insane profit versus Bruce's tiny paycheck.
I'm a man of little faith, Mr. Hahn.
Enter the Dragon might look like a scrappy martial arts flick, but its financial story is one for the record books. Warner Brothers and Golden Harvest made it on a shoestring budget of just $850,000, shot mostly on sets and with minimal effects. Yet when it hit theaters in 1973, it didn't just succeed, it exploded, raking in more than $400 million worldwide over time. That's blockbuster money by any standard. And Bruce Lee, despite being the film's star and creative force, he was paid just a flat $15,000. No box office cut, no royalties. A payday that small for a legacy that massive feels almost criminal. Imagine being the man who put Kung Fu on the global map, only to earn less than 1% of what the film made. Number 9. The boards were real, and they fought back.
Boards don't hit back.
One of Bruce Lee's most quoted lines in Enter the Dragon comes during his face-off with O'Hara. Boards don't hit back. It sounds like a cinematic taunt, but here's the wild part. Those boards weren't Hollywood props. They were real slabs of wood. No pre-scored breaks, no gimmicks. That meant every splintering crack you hear is well delivered. The crew thought it would add authenticity, but it also added risk. One misjudged strike by even an inch could have maybe turned things in another direction. Instead, the boards shattered, and the moment became one of the film's most iconic symbols of Lee's philosophy: skill, precision, and unshakable confidence. Hollywood fakery? Not here. That scene was as real as Bruce himself. Number 10. Bolo Yeung wasn't as big as he looked. On screen, Bolo Yeung looks like a towering beast compared to Bruce Lee. But here's the secret. In real life, Bruce was actually bigger in muscle definition and size. Bolo, who later became famous as Jean-Claude Van Damme's rival in Bloodsport, was strong but nowhere near the hulking monster audiences saw in Enter the Dragon. The production team pulled a few tricks: camera angles, low shots, and thick-soled shoes to make him seem massive and intimidating. Lee himself was so lean and cut that he could outshine anyone physically. So exaggerating Bolo's presence kept the fight visually balanced. It worked. Audiences genuinely believed Bolo was an unstoppable force. In truth, Bruce not only out-trained him, he could match his strength easily. Hollywood magic just made the contrast more dramatic. Number 11. The tournament extras were real martial artists. But before I tell you about Bruce Lee's very own martial art trainees getting a movie bit, here's a reminder to like what you're hearing and chop that subscribe button before you forward this onto a friend. One detail that made Enter the Dragon feel so authentic was the tournament itself. Instead of hiring random background actors to fill the crowd and competitors, Bruce Lee personally selected real martial artists to appear as extras. These weren't just people standing around, they were skilled fighters, each with legitimate training and discipline. Bruce wanted the atmosphere to feel alive, with every stance, movement, and posture reflecting genuine martial arts culture. Many of these extras came from schools he respected, and some even trained with him directly. The result was a tournament sequence that looked and felt real, with the extras moving naturally instead of faking it. That's why the fights had such intensity. Every person on screen carried the spirit of a true martial artist, not just an actor pretending to be one. Number 12. Bruce Lee's philosophical dialogue was mostly improvised. One of the most memorable parts of Enter the Dragon isn't just the action, it's Bruce Lee's words. Much of his philosophical dialogue, like the famous finger pointing to the moon line, wasn't tightly scripted. Instead, Lee improvised, drawing directly from his own martial arts philosophy and writings. He believed the film should be more than fists and kicks. It should share his message about self-mastery, discipline, and the dangers of ego. This improvisation gave the lines a natural, almost meditative flow that felt authentic to him, not like Hollywood writing. In fact, these unscripted moments are a big reason audiences worldwide connected so deeply with the film. Number 13. The wall-kicking stunt took 17 takes. One of Bruce Lee's most demanding moments on Enter the Dragon was the wall-kicking stunt. It looks effortless on screen. Lee launches himself off the wall and delivers a powerful kick, but behind the scenes it was a nightmare. The move had to be shot 17 times before director Robert Close was satisfied. Each attempt meant Bruce was smashing his feet and ankles against the wall at full speed, over and over. By the end, his feet were badly bruised and swollen, but Lee pushed through the pain to finish the scene. He refused to use a stunt double, believing it would break the realism he was after. What ended up as a blink and you'll miss it sequence in the final cut was actually one of the most grueling moments of the entire shoot. Number 14. Angela Mao was 4 months pregnant while filming. Angela Mao, who played Bruce Lee's sister Su Lin in Enter the Dragon, delivered one of the film's most intense performances, yet few knew the challenge she faced off-screen. During production, Mao was 4 months pregnant, but she still performed her own stunts. In her big fight sequence, where she battles Han's men before tragically being overpowered, she executed complex martial arts moves with speed and precision, never letting on that she was expecting. At the time, Mao was already known as the Queen of Kung Fu in Hong Kong cinema, and her commitment on Enter the Dragon only cemented her reputation. Her professionalism and grit were so remarkable that Bruce Lee personally praised her performance. The fact that she pulled it off while carrying a child makes her scenes even more jaw-dropping today. Number 15. The drug lab explosion shattered real windows. The drug lab explosion in Enter the Dragon is one of the film's most chaotic and fiery moments, but it wasn't just movie magic. The crew used real explosives to sell the intensity, and the blast ended up being much stronger than expected. The shockwave shattered actual windows up to 3 blocks away in Hong Kong, startling residents who had no idea a film shoot was happening nearby. The detonation also triggered a response from the Hong Kong Fire Department, who rushed to the set thinking it was a real emergency. Thankfully, no one was injured, but the incident made it clear just how far the filmmakers were willing to push practical effects for authenticity. What audiences saw as a thrilling spectacle on screen was, in reality, a dangerous stunt that left a real mark on the neighborhood. Number 16. Han's mechanical hand was a custom prop. One of the most unforgettable visuals in Enter the Dragon is Han's deadly mechanical hand. Throughout the film, he swaps between different versions: a metal claw, a spiked hand, and even a bladed weapon, each designed to make him more menacing. These weren't borrowed from any Hollywood workshop. They were custom props built by the production crew in Hong Kong. The claws and blades were made of lightweight metal and wood, carefully rigged so actor Shi Qian could wear them during fight scenes. While they look lethal, Most were designed to break away safely if contact was made. The rotating weapon hand concept gave Han a comic book-like quality that stood out from other kung fu villains of the era. Long before Darth Vader's armor became iconic, Han's interchangeable weapon hands left their own unforgettable mark on martial arts cinema. Number 17. The underground caves were studio creations. The underground caves in Enter the Dragon, where Bruce Lee sneaks past guards and uncovers Han's drug operation, weren't filmed in real caverns at all. Despite their convincing look, these sequences were actually built as elaborate sets inside Golden Harvest Studios in Hong Kong. Production designers carefully crafted twisting tunnels, rocky walls, and shadowy chambers to give the illusion of a sprawling lair beneath Han's fortress. The lighting team then added flickering torches and deep shadows to heighten the atmosphere. While some scenes for the film were shot in Los Angeles sound stages, the bat-infested cavern idea is just a myth. What audiences saw was pure magic, an underground world built from wood, plaster, and clever camera work. It's a testament to the film's design team that so many viewers believed Bruce Lee was really fighting in natural caves. Number 18. Bruce Lee used math to design his fight choreography. Bruce Lee didn't just throw punches and kicks. He designed his fight choreography with mathematical precision. Lee believed that action on screen should flow like geometry in motion. He broke sequences down into angles, timing, and rhythm, carefully calculating how each strike would look to the camera. For example, he used principles of symmetry and contrast, fast moves followed by pauses, wide arcs followed by tight jabs, to keep the audience's eye constantly engaged. His goal was maximum visual clarity. Every motion had to be sharp, readable, and dramatic from the viewer's perspective. This method also helped pace the fights like music, balancing explosive bursts with controlled stillness. By applying math and philosophy to martial arts choreography, Lee created fight scenes that weren't just realistic. They were cinematic works of art that still set the standard in action filmmaking today. Number 19. Warner Brothers wanted a white actor instead of Bruce Lee. Before Enter the Dragon began filming, Warner Brothers executives were hesitant to make Bruce Lee the star. At the time, Hollywood doubted that an Asian actor could carry a major international film. Shockingly, one name that came up as a possible replacement was David Carradine, a white actor who later starred in the TV series Kung Fu. The studio argued that audiences might respond better to a familiar American face. Bruce Lee, however, fought hard for the role, insisting that the film needed an authentic martial artist at its center. Ultimately, his persistence and the support of producer Fred Weintraub won out. The decision changed cinema forever. Instead of being sidelined, Bruce became a global icon, and Enter the Dragon proved that a Chinese superstar could dominate the worldwide box office. Number 20. The 1-inch punch demo caused a real injury. One of Bruce Lee's most famous demonstrations, the legendary 1-inch punch, was worked into Enter the Dragon to showcase his unbelievable power. But what many fans don't know is that the move was performed on a real volunteer, not a stuntman trained to take it. Lee had demonstrated it many times in public, always stunning crowds with its raw force. Including it in the film gave audiences worldwide a glimpse of his real abilities, proving Bruce wasn't just acting, he was showing martial arts mastery that bordered on superhuman. And finally, a bonus fact. Jackie Chan was injured by Bruce Lee on set. Before Jackie Chan was a global superstar, he was just one of many stuntmen working on Enter the Dragon. During one of the intense fight scenes, Bruce Lee accidentally struck Chan across the face with a stick, hitting him harder than intended. Production froze, expecting Chan to be furious, but instead he played it up, pretending to be hurt worse than he was. Lee, feeling guilty, immediately apologized and treated Chan kindly for the rest of filming. Chan later admitted he wasn't upset at all. He was thrilled that Bruce Lee, his idol, had not only noticed him but remembered him afterward. That one painful moment became the beginning of Jackie Chan's rise in the martial arts film world. Sometimes getting hit by a legend can change your life. Bruce Lee's Enter the Dragon isn't just a movie. It's a cultural earthquake that still shakes cinema today. Every scene, from the Cobra standoff to Han's deadly claw, is etched into history. These stories behind the film prove why it remains the gold standard of martial arts movies, inspiring fighters, filmmakers, and fans worldwide. If you were blown away by these hidden gems, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and share this video with someone who loves Bruce Lee. Because legends like this never fade, they only grow stronger with every retelling. Until next time, stay legendary.
Wow, that was weird.